We could only provide nutrition, food for people.
You understand that we're in the middle of a surge right now. Let me start with the numbers. Last week, I think, my notes say 3,800.
Controversy tonight after loads of food meant for migrant families got thrown out.
Since arriving in the city, many asylum seekers are picking up various day jobs in order to make ends meet.
People may have a different cultural taste for certain foods.
New level of crisis. Maria Menora, 32, resides at the Row NYC Hotel, which was once praised for its prime Times Square position and front-row view of the theater district. In the 6 months since her arrival from Venezuela, she has been jailed at least 8 times. Even though it's now violent and drug-ridden, the taxpayers still have to pay $500 a night for each of the 1,300 rooms that are reserved for refugees. Last week, Menora was caught once more for stealing a woman's phone on the number 6 train. Despite being accused of grand larceny and resisting arrest, Judge Jay Weiner decided to grant her supervised release, perhaps just in time for her to return to the hotel and have another lunch that you and I paid for. It is repulsive. Menora and other migrants who have a history of fighting with the police ought to be excluded from the city's welfare programs. Giving free meals and hotel rooms to convicted felons encourages them to commit crimes again and turns us into their patsies. The Democratic Party is transforming New York City into a utopia for foreign criminal organizations and migratory workers coming to commit break-ins and robberies. The thieves get free bus tickets if they need to leave town quickly, along with a long list of additional perks like 3 meals a day and hotel expenses paid for by taxpayers. What's not to like if you're a criminal? Such foolishness is not new. NYC has been feeding and housing criminal migrants with lengthy rap sheets for almost a year, enabling them to continue their criminal sprees. A year and a half ago, Nassau County Police Commissioner Patrick Ryder issued a warning about ongoing organized theft groups that are being sent up here for the purpose to commit crimes here, in addition to reporting the arrests of migrants who had stolen merchandise valued at $12,489 from Macy's Roosevelt Field. Thanks to taxpayer funding, 2 of the guys detained resided at the Watson Hotel on West 57th Street. Let's go back to the migrants who on January 27 beat down 2 NYPD officers in Times Square. It was a retail crime at first. A group of migrants had just broken into Aldo's that evening, taking purses and fleeing as they did every day when the cops intervened. A significant number of the 7 apprehended attackers had multiple past run-ins with the law. The former NYPD Deputy Commissioner of Intelligence and Counterterrorism, John Miller, claims that they were involved in organized retail theft and that they operated on mopeds and scooters. The worst part is this: they were lodging in shelters in the city. These career criminals were getting their meals and a roof over their heads from taxpayers. The suckers are us. Immigration and Customs Enforcement began targeting worldwide retail theft organizations with a crackdown in 2022. However, Democratic lawmakers in New York have sworn never to work with ICE, unfortunately for the local residents and businesses. During a December House hearing, Representative August Pfluger stated that global criminal networks are taking advantage of President Biden's open borders by moving to blue states that have lax laws against crime, such as releasing suspects without bond and classifying thefts of less than $1,000 as misdemeanors rather than felonies. Miller claimed that Florida-based retail theft gangs travel to New York because it offers them substantial earnings and little chance of jail time. They would be imprisoned if they robbed establishments in Florida. Still, nothing compares to the good bargain illegal immigrants in New York City receive, and the sweetness is only increasing. Mayor Adams stated last week that the city will provide debit cards to immigrants for up to $1,000 per month so they may purchase food that is culturally appropriate. He also signed contracts totaling $137 million for more hotel rooms for migrants. This allows immigrants to have the same purchasing power as low-income legal residents of New York. Affidavits stating that the money would only be used for food and infant necessities must be signed by the migrants. That's a laugh. However, an invasion by professional criminals disguising themselves as asylum seekers is not amusing. Although New York has a heart, it's past time for it to utilize its head.
We could only provide nutrition, food for people.
Police department has released body camera footage of the attack on 2 officers by a group of migrants.
Snatches and robberies with phones taken, putting out essentially a hit for...
My PD officer assaulted in the Bronx yesterday afternoon, hit in the head with a bottle in the Kingsbridge section.
And while there is apparently progress in terms of Congress's plan to hatch out a border deal.
As soon as Biden reversed policies, as soon as he embraced an open border, we knew this was going to be a big issue.
Prepaid credit cards. The Post has discovered that the office of Mayor Eric Adams will soon begin providing prepaid credit cards to immigrant families staying in Big Apple hotels. According to city records, asylum seekers landing at the Roosevelt Hotel would receive public funds to help them buy meals as part of a $53 million pilot program managed by the New Jersey company Mobility Capital Finance. It will take the place of the current food service provided there and begin with a group of 500 migrant families staying in short-term hotels, according to City Hall. Only bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores are allowed to accept the cards, and immigrants risk being removed from the program if they don't sign an affidavit promising to use the money only for food and baby necessities. The state's food stamp program, known as SNAP, which gives lower-class New Yorkers a credit card to help with meal expenses, looks similar to the immediate response card idea. Funding for the program will be distributed according to the same scale. The specifics of the contract state that the amount on each card will change based on the size of the family and whether any income is received. For example, a family of 4 could receive about $1,000 each month, or $35 per day for food. Refilled cards will be sent out every 28 days. The same kind of cards were provided to low-income city dwellers last year to help them pay for Christmas meals. According to Wool Coaxum, CEO and founder of Mo-K-Fi, Mo-K-Fi looks forward to partnering with New York City to disperse funds for asylum seekers to purchase fresh, hot food. The purpose of Mo-K-Fi is to support the local economy by increasing the number of people, including asylum seekers, who are unable to access banking services.
The cards can only be used at bodegas, grocery stores, supermarkets, and convenience stores.
I understand that we're in the middle of a surge right now. Let me start with the numbers. Last week, I think, my notes say 3,800.
The mayor's office says the city is partnering with Mobility Capital Finance to launch a more cost-effective program. Some migrant families will soon be given prepaid credit cards to buy food and baby supplies.
Since arriving in the city, many asylum seekers are picking up various day jobs in order to make ends meet.
Well, questions being raised tonight about a new pilot program that'll give migrant families a reloadable prepaid credit card to buy food.
According to officials on Friday, if the program proves to be effective, it will be extended to all migrant families lodging in hotels, which presently numbers about 15,000 by the city. According to Adams spokesperson Kayla Mamalak, not only will this give families the opportunity to buy fresh food for their culturally appropriate diets and the baby supplies of their choice, but the pilot program is expected to save New York City more than $600,000 per month, or more than $7.2 million annually. In order to feed migrant families in hotels, the city has been paying out almost $11 every meal. This has long been problematic because some asylum seekers from different nations in Central and South America, Africa, and Europe may be yearning for a taste of home. It was discovered just last month that the contentious business DocGo was squandering thousands of dollars of uneaten food. In the days that followed, migrants confided in the Post that the meals they were given were so bad that they would prefer to cook in their hotel rooms. The prepaid card initiative was announced just one day after the Post disclosed over $137 million in agreements with local hotels to accommodate over 750 rooms for families seeking asylum. With the arrival of 1,500 more asylum seekers this week, the city is now hosting a little over 66,000 people in response to a crisis that is projected to cost $10 billion by 2025.
They will start with 500 migrant families with children in short-term hotel stays.
The video shows a man in a yellow jacket who is believed to be Henry Brito wrestling with the officers.
People may have a different cultural taste for certain foods.
Governor Hochul discussed New York's migrant crisis with President Biden yesterday in a conversation she called very productive.
And hopefully we'll grab him, we get some headway on this.
First of all, thanks a lot, guys. Listen, we saw what happened.
Cop beating migrants. New York laws that ban cooperation with federal immigration officials are partly to blame for ICE being powerless to stop migrants accused of jumping two NYPD cops from skipping town. Kenneth Ganallo, the director of U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement's Big Apple field office, ripped the sanctuary policy that prevents the city from adhering to detainers, a system that calls for the feds to be notified by local law enforcement when non-citizens are arrested on criminal charges. Ganallo said that due to city policies and state law, cooperation is no longer afforded between NYPD and ICE. The appeal comes off the back of 6 migrants being charged over the beatdown of 2 NYPD officers near Times Square on January 27. 5 of them were slapped with attack and obstructing governmental administration charges last week and released without bail, with at least 4 of them allegedly then hightailing it out of the city. The current laws that limit the NYPD's cooperation with the feds, including adhering to the detainer system, meant he and other immigration officials only found out about the recent ordeal through media reports. Then Mayor Bill de Blasio signed a bill into law in 2014 that barred the NYPD from working with federal immigration officials when they are seeking to boot dangerous migrants from the U.S. In 2018, he took it a step further by issuing citywide guidance and new NYPD protocols to codify the Big Apple's policy of not cooperating with the feds' immigration enforcement activities. Local lawmakers, led by U.S. Rep. Nicole Malliotakis, urged Mayor Eric Adams and the City Council to reverse the current laws and policies so migrants accused of crimes can be easily deported.
I think it was more like 4,000 people that we got last week, which is kind of insane when you think about what these numbers are.
The city is caring for nearly 60,000 migrants right now. Let's face it, that number is not expected to get smaller.
If they were running the city right now, we'd be in a whole lot of trouble.
Controversy tonight after loads of food meant for migrant families got thrown out.
And shared our concerns. Both the governor was also communicated with him.
Right now, the city has contracts with food services who provide non-perishable food boxes to shelters.
That's all for this video, folks. See you next time.